I think the whole point of being the bicycle mayor was for lending a voice to cycling. Political leaders and bureaucrats understanding what cycling does to their place and how they can involve themselves and do all of these supporting infrastructure. That was the signaling that is being sent out of those things.
How do we increase the pull factor of the bicycle?
Who is talking about sustainability? Who is talking about practical change in society? You're only selfishly looking at yourself and your influence zone. What happens between 18 and 35? That is the missing middle. You are trying to not spend unwisely now. How will I use this to shape the future of my city and of my country?
A city like Bangalore, why it is behind of all this?
Said, boom, here's the road that's going to be unsafe. Yes, they made it unsafe with bad infrastructure. Infrastructure will take time to build, but they have not made a start. Employee commute, they are unable to provision any more parking lots. I will die if I get on a bicycle. That's not true.
I'm extremely pleased to note that the Center for Sustainability has come out with a podcast series on sustainability. My reflection on this concept sustainability has been that it is very apt and timely. Why it is apt and timely for a business school? If you look into the world over, if you look into the macro scenario, every business has been integrating sustainability into its business strategy. If we introduce sustainability into the business strategy, you will ensure that your business practices, functioning of the business does not impact negatively the society, community and environment as a whole. I personally believe that business in the pursuit of following profit must be sustainable and must ensure that the environment and society, community are protected in the pursuit of making profit. This is the context in which this topic assumes extreme importance, especially in the context of the emergence of the development goals set by the United Nations. At RIM, we have ingrained sustainability related topics into every chapter, every paper that we teach to our students, because we don't want our environment and society at jeopardy in the pursuit of businesses doing their activities. The topic is very relevant. That is the context in which I look at this emerging podcast series on sustainability. This is going to generate a lot more discussion and debates in the days to come, and I am also sure that a lot of youngsters will express their interest in understanding the emerging sustainability related topics. I assume that this kind of podcast will provide much needed guidance and clarity that is required for the younger generations. My best wishes to podcast on sustainability, and I assume that a lot of top leaders, business icons, academicians, policy makers will be using this as a platform to express their ideas on sustainability. Best wishes to the Center for Sustainability of Ramaya Institute of Management, and best wishes to the student community who are spearheading this event. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, we are very happy to start a podcast series on sustainability. It is an initiative of Center for Sustainability at Ramaya Institute of Management. This podcast series aims at bringing the students in conversation with the experts who are working in the area of sustainable development and trying to improve the quality of life of citizens. We are very privileged to have our first guest, who is the bicycle mayor of Bangalore, working a lot in the area of active mobility, none other than Mr. Satya. Yes, you all know him. Our students have already joined hands with Bengaluru campaign, which is actually a community-based initiative. And I take this opportunity to inform everybody that the students are soon coming up with Bengaluru Fest. So we invite everyone, please be a part of this fest. Be a student ambassador for cycling. I wish all the students very best for your initiatives. Let us come together, join hands and walk towards a sustainable future. Thank you so much.
Every city needs a change maker who dares us to reimagine how we live, move and connect. Our guest today is one such change maker, Mr. Sathyanarayanan Sankaran, the bicycle mayor of Bengaluru. Coming from a computer science background, he has worked with many corporates, and him being himself as the CEO of many startups like Urban Morph, Watts Neat Energy Rain Matter Foundation, bringing together the technology, the urban innovation and sustainability. For over a decade, he has championed cycling and for sustainable mobility, as well as he has participated in initiatives like Cycle Day. Cycling has become part of his lifestyle. It's an honor for us to welcome him to our first podcast with the podcast series on sustainability. We welcome you, Mr. Satya, sir. So, you're known as the bicycle mayor of Bengaluru. So, how did this journey begin and what were the challenges for you to make the city a cycle friendly city?
First of all, thank you for having me on this podcast. I'm very excited to be with you all. I think the whole point of being the bicycle mayor was for lending a voice to cycling. Right? It's not, cycling has usually been ignored. People have, you all used it when you were younger. Yes. But over time, it has become not an aspirational goal. So somebody needed to talk about it because I was somebody who used to use bicycling a lot in the city for commute. I have used it for my health and recreation. I used to be a weekend cyclist and everything else. But at the end of the day, I thought the transformatory effects of cycling in the city, many other countries and I have seen, but we are missing it and we are ending up spoiling our city. So I thought it needed a voice, and hence I started the journey of being able to lend voice to cycling. And along the way, this bicycle mayor program came about. They selected with a panel, they came in, asked questions, what can we do, how will it go forward? And that's how that thing came around.
Okay, that's nice to hear, sir. Before this podcast, I was just scrolling your LinkedIn profile and there I found an interesting post of yours wherein you had a chance with Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte to take a alongside walk in the streets of Bangalore. So how was that experience? And maybe sharing that experience here, one of us would become the next bicyclist.
I think so, but the thing that came across, that Mark Rutte was here visiting Bengaluru, and you know that their country is very famous for a lot of people cycling. And their cities have seen a lot of transformation because of how they are able to do that. And Rutte himself cycles. And a lot of the political and elected representatives and bureaucrats there use a bicycle because that's the most practical way to get around in the city. And when he came here, the consulate called me and said, hey, why don't we do a cycling thing around? It was not very long, it was only on Church Street, but it was symbolic enough to make a statement that political leaders and bureaucrats understanding what cycling does to their place and how they can involve themselves and do all of these supporting infrastructure. That was the signaling that is being sent out of those things. I always, even when my events happen, the political representatives, I call them, the bureaucrats, I call them, come and cycle with us. You need to see what the city is and how you can make it cycling friendly. So when your elected representatives and your bureaucrats and the administration begins to appreciate and use it a little bit, even in the events, and buy into it, then your infrastructure starts looking very different. It is that creating of that empathy that is important. And this was one of that marquee event where when he came, he also rode with a lot of people. But we don't seem to understand what this is. We see it as one, oh, a VIP came, he did something and he went away. We are not imbibing the lessons from that. And that's what I think this showed.
Okay. That was a great experience that you shared, sir.
When we were kids, everyone used to love bicycle. Everyone loves it. But somewhere along the way, we ditched the pedals for keys. We shift to motorized vehicle. We bring cars, bike as a show your wealth, your power, and to become attractive. So, how do you think the cool factor for bicycle? How do we increase the cool factor of the bicycle? What is your aspect on that?
And the reason we work with people like you and in colleges is you all have the answers. I am only trying to see what answers I can get out of young students and people in colleges, because it's exactly what you said, right? When you're in school, you do something, it is fun, you have no responsibilities, you go around. Then you go into college, then you have aspirations, then you see what company you keep determines how you behave. So if you have a bunch of people who only own fancy motorbikes and cars and other things, then you start having to behave like them because you want that company and you want to belong in that group and not want to be ostracized. Yes. So how many other, who is talking about sustainability? Who is talking about practical change in society? You're only selfishly looking at yourself and your influence zone, right? And in college you have a lot of companies and you have to keep, you have your girlfriend you want to impress, or you have your own hormones that kick in. But that is when you need to understand practicality and future, right? When you come out of college, you'll get into becoming an entrepreneur or getting into work and you don't have too much money and you need to save some. That's when you have to be able to make certain choices. Not all the time, but some of the time. And those answers are something I am asking as well. This is what I call the missing middle. After school, and then when you're 35 and have health issues, you'll say, I want to pick up cycling again. What happens between 18 and 35?
Yeah.
That is the missing middle. And that's where you're setting your aspirational goals, what is good. And in that period, a lot of choices get entrenched in how you think about society and your standard of living, your aspirational goals. All of that is set in that time. And if you understand that even if I do certain things right during this time, then over the long term, you can you can shape a better future for everybody else. That is a discovery. And that is the willingness of the colleges. And that's why we run these things in. Why is there a sustainability cell in colleges? For me personally, it is, can you have more active mobility so your health is also not, so that you don't have to come at 35 and say, oh, I screwed everything up and now I want to fix it.
Yes.
Just keep the frame going in a certain direction. That's why I thought cycling is important in colleges to not just cycling, it's also about your walking, it's also about public transport. You are trying to not spend unwisely now.
Oh.
And the compounding factor helps you later to say that later on I will have the ability to choose more wisely. Now I will not choose wisely, so let me try to save as much as possible and see how best I can do. And now also you have certain ways of thinking about what am I contributing to society, what are my actions doing tomorrow for the rest of the people. And the young people are a sizable bunch today. And that's where I think the answers lie. The answers are there, but we all have to discover the answers together. It's not something that I can prescribe, but I want to continue to stay engaged to say, what answers are you coming up with that is working for you all, even for a small percentage of you? And how do you use these kind of sustainability cells, or create one if you don't have it, and figure out how you work on it, and how do you then say, how will I use this to shape the future of my city and of my country?
So at this point of time, I really want to bring the pain side of students, wherein we face in this situation that to bring our bicycles to our institution, we really feel inconvenient because there are many potholes and no signals are there, and there are no separate bicycle lanes as well for our cyclists, right? Our professor Meghna Verma used to bicycle to our institute a few years ago. Now she isn't. So what do you think, like a city like Bangalore, why it is behind of all this?
I think all the cities in India are facing this problem. It is because of the first two things we said. What was Rutte trying to say? The bureaucratic and the administrative willingness needs to be there to shape this future. You can't catch up to the traffic. It is never going to happen. You need to make alternatives available. That is point number one. The second thing is attitudes of people need to change. Why do you feel unsafe on the road? It's not like the government said, boom, here's the road that's going to be unsafe. Yes, they made it unsafe with bad infrastructure. But the motorist who is not letting you ride peacefully is also one of us. So when we are on a two-wheeler and look at a cyclist or somebody walking, do we harass them? So it's between us to solve the problem. And if we solve it to a certain extent, then you will also say, okay, bicycle lane is coming. I shouldn't complain about it. I should allow. I might also take it someday when I'm not on the motorbike. I'll do 3 days on a motorbike, 2 days on a bicycle. So I need that for myself as well. That feeling of belonging of that infrastructure is very important, because it's the rest of us who are on the motor vehicle making the cyclist and the pedestrian unsafe. Right? Then if we are watching out at that point when we are in the motor vehicle, then you can make the other person safer. And infrastructure will take time to build, but they have not made a start. And they're saying, where are you all? It's a chicken and an egg. Where are the cyclists? For whom am I building? After I build the cycle lane, what if nobody comes? So first make up the mind that I want to do it and show that you can do it somewhere. The congested roads are on the main roads. Why not inside your neighborhood for small things like going to the hair salon or buying vegetables or groceries or something? Pick some things that you can do and show that you are habituated. Because today the biggest problem is, I will die if I get on a bicycle. That's not true. You will actually die faster if you're on a motorbike, because it has power, and you will when you collide, it is even more harder. Yes, there is inconvenience in the city. There's tremendous amount of inconvenience. It is getting worse. And this is why we want the government to take note and help us make better choices. We are willing to make better choices, but we should be enabled. And let us be frank, cycle lanes are not coming everywhere. It's not coming next to your house. It is coming on the main roads for sure. Maybe 20% of Bangalore will get cycle lanes. But you are still living in the rest 80% in all probabilities. Because you're not living on the main road, you're living on a side road. You should be willing to actually take your bicycle out and try it somewhere. Yes, the main roads are crowded. Maybe you don't go there. Maybe the choice you make is still that main road becomes better. I will show that I am cycling around my neighborhood and encourage the rest of people to do. So make those choices wisely. Don't think that the cycle is attached to you everywhere all the time.
No.
Make those choices. If it's raining, how will I ride? Don't ride. Get on a bus.
No.
When it is nice, at least 8 months in a year in Bangalore, it is nice. So you should be able to do something.
Yeah, that is really very interesting, sir. And if there is any one urban policy that you want to prioritize that can accelerate the cycling thing to come up, so which one that would be?
I don't think there is one silver bullet in any of these solutions. These are all choices people make, and the more number of choices we make around cycling and walking and public transport and everything, that infrastructure will automatically follow. There are certain basic things that we need. You already highlighted. One is that the willingness to say that our road infrastructure needs to take care of people who walk and cycle is a primary mindset that people need to have in the administration and the political class. Then the people need to support that choice. Today there could be an MLA or an MP saying that I want to put bicycle lanes and walking paths, but half the people in my community don't even seem to care. Why will I build something which they don't care and ask for?
Yeah.
Do you collectively even stand by that and say, yes, we are willing to support what you do? So the people amongst ourselves need to be convinced that this is an option for us. Most of us seem to think that no, we have to be attached to the car. If we don't drive a car, we will die tomorrow. Our whole economic structure will collapse. This is not the way you think about cities. If that is your thinking, you're not going to get anything better. You can be stuck in this traffic forever. Traffic jam can never be solved. Nobody has ever solved it. Yeah. The only thing that can be given is an alternate for you. If that alternate can be provisioned and you're willing to take it, you are better off. You want to say, I only want it for the car, you should be willing. You bought a nice car with nice music, sit and listen for 3 hours in the traffic. Don't complain about it. If you're complaining about it, get the solutions are out of that box. That box is the car. You want a solution, it's not coming from inside the box, it's coming from outside the box. Stand outside on the street like all of us, then you will get the solution.
Sir, so you have worked with quite a lot of companies in initiating cycling. So which company do you think that really inspired their people to engage in that cycling activity?
Actually, you will be surprised, there are lots of them.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. We are having cyclists from almost 800 plus companies from across the world on our platform called Altmo, which we track cycling and other things. Majority of the companies in Bengaluru, their employees are cycling.
Oh.
With or without. Your college doesn't need you to ask you to cycle.
Yes.
But you can just do it anyway. They'll give you a parking lot, just like you come on a scooter. They didn't tell you come on a scooter, come in a car. You just came anyway and they gave you a parking lot.
Yeah.
So we have to make our choices and come and say, where's my parking? Right? Start doing that more often. Lots of companies today are doing it. There is a lot of global capability centers being built in large cities in India now. These are service employees, white collar jobs. They are all perfectly capable of using a bicycle. Yes, there are constraints and we have a problem with a lot of traffic. In fact, the traffic is slower than you on a bicycle usually. It's usually the potholes you need to be worried about, the bad quality of the roads, not the traffic. The traffic is irritating, everybody is honking and all that, but it's safer. It's only when the traffic is moving very fast, like early morning you think the road is empty and you want to ride, and the car guy is also thinking the same thing, and then a mistake can happen. When the traffic is slow in the city, you are faster. Yes. You're faster than the rest of the traffic, literally. Yes. But companies are now increasingly realizing that employee commute, they are unable to provision any more parking lots. Their parking lots are bigger than their employee seating spaces now. They're saying enough, we can't do this anymore. So rationing of parking lots is going to happen. Pricing of parking lots are going to come everywhere. You can buy all the cars you want, you're not going to be able to use them. It's going to get increasingly more and more expensive. The wise choice is make alternate option. Public transport is a huge option. You can use last mile, you can cycle, you can walk, you can take auto rickshaws and things like that. The more you shift to healthier commute like cycling, the better off you'll be. And the HR departments inside companies are beginning to realize preventive health is important. Because India is the diabetes capital of the world. There are more than 10 to 12,000 people dying every day because of non-communicable diseases linked to inactivity. So the more you start using active modes to get to work, the better off you will be. Like I used to ride 100 kilometers over the weekend as an example. But what I realized is my office was 20 kilometers away. And if I just went to work 3 or 4 days a week, I would have got the same thing that I would have spent 5 hours on a weekend going back and forth. That is the kind of advantage, time savings I had, is that I would have gotten to work also. I got my 100 kilometers just riding 3 or 4 days a week to work. I didn't have to ride over the weekend. Of course, I still do. I want to go outside and enjoy the outdoors, but I don't have to do those monster miles to keep my health. So companies are realizing, lots of companies are directly falling under scope 3 category 7 as a BRSR reporting. That's the reporting that you need, the compliance reporting. So companies are increasingly, I don't want to give one example, there are lots of them. All the companies are today promoting, they are giving incentives to employees to start cycling to work.
So does the cycling also have maintained the time, or you have to go earlier?
It depends on the climatic conditions. So in some of the cities in India, you may need to leave early and leave late if it is quite hot. In some other places, when it is raining, you may not be able to use. I used to use even when it was raining, but if it was raining heavily, I would take the bus back home. Next day, I'll bring the cycle back when it's not raining. On other days, I would just, while coming back, rain is okay. In some cities, it rains all through the day. So that time, get in a public transport or something. But other days, morning in Bangalore especially, it doesn't rain in the mornings. It usually rains in the evening. So while going, I'll go. While coming, I'll make a decision. I have a raincoat and everything else, just like you do on a two-wheeler. Yeah, so climatic conditions, you adjust to where you are, and you'll have to adjust your routes. You'll have to adjust when you go, when you come. You will discover everything. You do it a few times, you will discover everything.
Okay. Top-down policies are one thing, but what impact do you think grassroots level policy like yours, Bengaluru's, is going to have an effect on the society?
So we talked about the chicken and egg, why policy is not being made. What are they asking? Where are you all? Where are the cyclists, and where are you cycling? Where are you walking, and things like that? It's important that the grassroots movement like Bengaluru begins to address these questions. What is the question it is addressing for students? It's trying to engage and say, why are you guys not able to do it? How do you balance your aspirational goals and your whatever other extracurricular company interests that you have and friend interests that you have, and how do you balance it with these kind of things? Those questions are being answered. And how do you engage with cycling today? You don't. You probably engage with motor vehicles because you see some Formula 1 race and you see complex engineering and you want to think that I am making magic over there. But simple instruments are also looking for innovation today. The bicycle is today being innovated in many different ways also. You have tandem bicycles, you have cargo bikes, you have electric bikes, you have assists, you have technology-enabled bicycles, you have designed bicycles. So anything you look, and then there are laws around bicycling. So we think that the colleges can start to have clubs around looking at active mobility, sustainable transport, and building things around that. Because tomorrow when you go out there, you can do many things. You will have an imagination that is totally different. And I do believe that campaigns like Bengaluru tries to engage people like yourselves and students in colleges to say, what can you do around this? What is your thinking around this? How can you engage in your projects around active mobility? You could be law, you could be engineering, you could be tech, you could be design, you could be anything. But you can always find a topic to engage in. And that can probably take shape of, that's something you want to do later, that's something you want to contribute later, and things like that. So Bengaluru is trying to get visibility and build the community, because once you build communities, then the ask for infrastructure becomes easier because you are already there and you want to do it. And now you yourself will ask for it, saying that where's my facility? And that's where we are going with this.
So here at RIM, we do run Bengaluru campaign, and we are coming up with student ambassador program to all the colleges to implement it. So what is the piece of advice that you want to give it to us?
I think it's very important. That's just like how that bicycle mayor position was trying to understand cycling and position it in the complex world of transportation. What is its role? How do we catalyze it? And it led me to build a product of sorts. Tomorrow it might lead you to think about it differently, but it's never about the ambassador alone. You become the catalyst. You show leadership in understanding the issue and representing the issue. The bicycle mayor position is not about me, it's about cycling. And how can I best service that need? Who do I talk to? How do I bring them together? How do I impress upon them the need to do something about this? So more than me actually doing, I am actually in the backroom channels talking to other people. How can I talk to them about cycling in their projects that they are doing? Why am I here talking to you in your sustainability center? Because I want to include cycling into this. So you are always as an ambassador trying to enable more people in your college, representing what cycling represents for your college as a signal of sustainability. You could do many other things also, but the ambassador is looking at promoting the concept of cycling and what it takes. What do I create as a club tomorrow? How can I engage more of my colleagues in doing things? How can I engage more of my colleagues in thinking about these things? Most of your knowledge is you're like the CEO of the topic and you're beginning to rally the troops and seeing what you can do collectively, which group of people are capable of doing what and how can I work with them to enable them. It's always about that enablement that you have to think about. And at points in time when you become a fulcrum for talking about the issue, so the more you know, the more you can represent it better. So your ability to gather that information, understand the topic well enough and represent it to the outside world as a representative of not just the college and its work, but also of cycling in general and networking with your peer groups and going into corporates, so you become like a leader of sorts. And that is why it is a useful position. No words of wisdom, figure it out, but at the end of the day, you are representing something that might be the future of the cities.
Yes, sir. And now, since we are in the city of Bangalore, let's see how you escape this traffic of rapid fire round.
Okay.
So, yeah, are you ready, sir, for some short questions and short answers?
Sure.
No overthinking at all.
Oh, no.
So the first one I would shoot you is Amsterdam is known as the bicycle capital of the world. So in India, which city would you pick up to be bicycle capital?
I have a bias. You said I am from Bangalore. I want this to be the bicycle capital.
Okay.
But Pimpri-Chinchwad is giving good run for its money with good infrastructure and good leadership.
Okay.
Leadership makes a difference. People make the difference. It's not there in Bangalore. We are all there. People are there. But the leadership isn't there.
So which is your favorite route in Bangalore for cycling?
All roads in my city are favorite routes except the ring roads and other roads. But unfortunately, I have to go there as well. I am a city animal. I ride in the city.
So to escape this Bangalore traffic, even in the rain, which is the best mode of transport? A car, bicycle or bus?
Bus. In the rains.
In the rains.
Otherwise, it's always a cycle.
Cycle. Okay, then you prefer bicycling with music or without?
No music. My mind is always, whenever I'm walking or cycling, I'm thinking about many things. I don't like to be interrupted. All my best thoughts have come on a bicycle.
Okay, so if every Bangalorean owned a bicycle, what would the ideal city be?
Oh, amazing. No noise, no pollution, quiet, peaceful, and everybody is becoming more healthier. People are appreciative of each other. People are saying hi, hello to each other, not inside rolled up boxes. It's a beautiful city, I'm telling you.
Yes.
One achievement as bicycle mayor that you are proud of?
Like working with people and meeting more people, and I think that's the biggest thing. I've met so many communities, I've met so many people doing things. I'm still not able to go to many of these places and meet them repeatedly, but I get to hear of many things. And I feel that, I know it's a long answer, it was supposed to be rapid fire, but I think I need to make this known, is that the more number of people you meet and the more number of things that you can work with and work with more people, that is the only way this is going to succeed, I think. And I'm proud of the fact that I got the opportunity to meet and work with a lot of people in many different areas. I still do.
So, if one famous personality you can make him to cycle every day, who would it be?
The Prime Minister of India, whoever it is.
That was really interesting, sir, to hear. And a last question I would like to pose on you is what message you want to impose to all our listeners over here so that the student community who is trying to contribute to your vision that is coming to make it into reality, what message you want to impose on us?
I think it's time to start thinking about active mobility and start doing something about it. Whatever in your individual capacity, gather a bunch of people, begin to make that the next big thing for the cities. That is the cool thing. Figure out how we make it cool, because you are the ones who need to make it cool, not me. I'm too old for this. So what you need to think about is how do you make this a topic in colleges? How do you create clubs around these things? How do you create these movements that help you actually do something, anything with your skills and knowledge and everything, right? If you can build a drone, you can build a bicycle, whatever it is, or talk about it, or have debates about it, or have laws around it, have designs around it, build infrastructure around it, or tools and technologies and products and everything else, right? There's a whole wide range of things that can be done, and I feel that colleges are the best places to start this journey of thinking about sustainability through the lens of a bicycle. And sustainability is big and large, but the lens you use is, if I can do this with the bicycle as a lever of thinking of how I want to build my mental models around sustainability, how do you sell hard things of sustainability to people? If we know that, then you can crack anything else in the world.
Yeah, that is really interesting and motivating us as well, sir. So thank you for having a word with us and inspiring us. Thank you so much for your motivational talk and bringing up your vision and mission to us. And you also told us cycling is not just a mobility, it is how we reimagine our city which we are living in. To all our listeners, I would like to say that the only way to make the city greener is to start within us. One pedal at a time. Thank you.